everybody. This is going to be my quick story synopsis slash review experience of my recent Backstreet Boys adventure. As you guys know, I'm a big Backstreet Boys fan, diehard fan, and like to see them at least once every tour. And the end of the world. The This Is Us tour just kicked off in Chicago on Friday, 2 days ago, and yeah, I went to the Chicago show. And I went to St. Louis's show because I'm from St. Louis, but I always wanted to go to a tour opener, so that's why I went to Chicago. But yeah, Friday, Saturday, back to back. I'm just got home from the concert like less than an hour ago, so still fresh in my mind. I'm deadbeat tired. I need to get some sleep. I need to get some food in me. I got sunburned a little, but I just thought I'd post this video and do this review at least. So while it's all fresh in my head. So let's get started, and I definitely don't mean to come off ungrateful for some stuff. It's just I'm a pessimistic. I'm pessimistic. I'm a pessimist. I like to look at what could have been better, but it is what it is, and it's a great experience. I'm not harping that at all, but yeah, you'll notice here. Just let's do this, and I have a list to go through, so just to be diligent. But let's talk about Chicago first. I want to actually talk about the lack of VIP contests for Chicago. Ground Control Fan Club has gold contests for gold VIPs for 3 winners per show. I entered for Chicago because I was going to for sure get silver for St. Louis. But apparently they never announced the winners for Chicago because nobody went on the website to gloat that they had won for Chicago. Nobody. And when they announced for St. Louis, those people were immediately on gloating about it. Nobody ever, according to Twitter and all that, were notified about if they had won Chicago VIP. And I wasn't even going to bring it up because that VIP in Chicago was horrible, just the way it was ran, not the actual set with the guys there. But yeah, so that kind of ticked me off. But I ended up buying bronze a day or two before the show because with the whole debacle with the fan club and the contest, not really having a contest for Chicago kind of threw me off there. But that's totally unfair, Ground Control. But yeah, I ended up with bronze. But dude, that first show was so unorganized. They were still building the stage when we got there, and they were still building the stage when soundcheck was supposed to happen. We were supposed to check into soundcheck at 3:15. We did not physically probably get into soundcheck until 5:30. It was just horrible. They're still building the stage, and apparently rumor has it that it didn't rain or thunder or anything, but the fire marshal was there because it was threatening to rain and thunder, and he wouldn't approve of certain electrical things at the stage, so they had to reset some stuff, and that's what took them so long. Or maybe it's an incompetent tour crew and them being slow moving, or the fact that they got it Thursday when they probably should have got it Wednesday to set that up. It is what it is, but everything was about 2 hours late. But the actual well, first and foremost, before the wait, I want to thank Jake and Teresa. They're awesome people. Without them, this wouldn't have happened. Cute couple. She's a big Backstreet fan. He just goes for the ride. But yeah, they picked me up to and from the bus in Chicago, and they did that for Nick Carter as well. There's a show I went to with Nick and a couple years ago in Chicago. So hats off to them. I love you guys if you watch this. Thank you so much for that. But yeah, VIP late and everything like that. But when the VIP started, I had bronze, so I had the cheapest. I didn't get a picture with them. And I didn't get to ask him a question, but it is what it is. But Brian is pointing to somebody, and I don't know who he's pointing to, and he's looking dead at me. So I go me, like I mouth me, and he's like, yeah, and he's like mouthing, it's good to see me again. So he recognized me. I've met Brian like 9 times, and every time he recognizes me, it's just cool to me. It really is. So I got a recognition from Brian, and then as we are leaving, because bronze was let out before the pictures take effect, AJ was coming out to take pictures, but I didn't notice it was AJ until I was right up in front of him, and he was hugging some fans that were walking by that were bronze, and I go, can I get a man hug? And he just bear hugged me, and he was like, we're beard brothers, because he's grown a beard out, and every time he's met me, I've had some sort of beard going on. and I pulled out my driver's license picture, and I showed it to him. Probably thought it was a gun, but I showed it to him, and my beard was like hella long a couple of years ago, and he was just so jealous. So I got a man hug from AJ, and we bonded over our facial hair, which is really cool. And then really good seats. I had fifth row right, so I was kind of angled off. Really decent seats. Met some nice people there. Some girls that were big fans. They got drunk during the show, but they're big fans. And met some old friends that we met BSB in Chicago years ago, and we just keep in touch. It's really cool. Matt, you were there. If you know, Matt's the guy that paid for my VIP a couple years ago. But yeah, awesome show. Except for the obvious that's going to come up, but an awesome show. Just blew me away. I thought it was really well done, and I thought it's more of a greatest hits tour than anything. There's a few new hits, new singles sprinkled in there, but other than that, it's pretty much just a greatest hits tour. But here is the downer to this whole thing, besides the VAB contest thing and it running late. It ran so late, everything ran so late that they cut the concert short. They were about to start a song, and they were about to sing. Music stopped, and mics were cut off. We thought it was a joke. We thought it was a tour mishap because it's the first show. The mics were turned back on. They're like, "What's going on, guys? Let's do this." Apparently, a city official for Chicago was there. And rumor has it, because it took so long to build the stage up, however it was with the fire marshal thing or incompetence or anything like that. If it took so long for the stage to be built up and that being late, and then Paulie D, a DJ, taking an hour and a half to DJ, there's a curfew with like loud noises in a residential area after 11 p.m. outside, and it was 11:05 and they cut them. We started chanting one more song, and they were taking requests, and they were saying, "We'll pay a fine, just let us do one more song at least." And the guy was going to let him do one more song, but then he just stopped it. I think he had to stick up his butt. He just stopped it. So the fans sung "I Want It That Way" karaoke style to BSB, and BSB appreciated that. And AJ took his shirt off and was asking, have you ever seen a Backstreet Boy bag? And Nick was laying down. Just a whole ordeal. AJ swore to us, and in that video on Facebook later, that they're going to try to add Chicago back on to the tour before the end of the tour and do a full tour, do a full show, because they had like 5 songs. They had about 30 minutes left in their set. So I didn't get nobody got a full, complete Backstreet Boys in the World like this concert in Chicago the first day. Now, this is just thinking off the top of my head, but realistically, what Ground Control, the fan club, should do is, if you keep your ticket stub from that show, you should be, if they do in fact add another Chicago show, which I don't think they will, I just think they'll make up for it when they're back in Chicago and on the next tour or something like that. But if they do, if we have a ticket stub and we can prove it, we should be letting that concert free, because I paid for a full concert. I didn't get a full concert, and it's an expense for me to travel to Chicago, and I'm not made of money. But yeah, that was my whole Chicago experience. I really enjoyed it. It was really cool, that Brian and the AJ interaction that I got, and it was really cool seeing Kevin back, and Bailey singing, and seeing little James on stage, Howie's kid. Just really cool. The gold and platinum got a little bit more higher experience with their VIP, because they got to go backstage and take pictures, because they were running so late they literally had to open the gates, and they didn't want BSB to be in the general public. So yeah, but that's my whole Chicago experience. Now on to St. Louis, and I'm literally just back from my St. Louis experience. I live in St. Louis. I reside in St. Louis, so top of my head, after party is probably still going on as we speak, but yeah, I'll get to that soon. But yeah, I didn't enter for Chicago VIP, didn't. But I wish that they were notified a couple of days beforehand, or at least they were notified. But at least they were. I was hoping they'd be notified a couple of days beforehand, because a girl posted that she had bought gold and won gold, and she was selling like her plus one or whatever for $200, which was under silver. I guess so she could upgrade to platinum, because that was the only difference price wise. And I just saw that today. If I had saw that like 2 days ago before I bought it, I would have done that in a heartbeat. I would have got gold for the price of silver, for less than the price of silver. But I ended up with silver, and it is what it is. I met some really cool people online. Met a hot chick in line who's a big fan, who's following me on Twitter now. I don't mean to disrespect you, but you are kind of hot. And I got interaction again from two of them, as opposed to a picture. But Brian, just out of the blue, starts talking. Like, no, at the very beginning starts talking, and at first I don't know if he was talking to me or not, but he's like, 2 shows in a row, and he points at me and goes, wow, that's dedication, or something like that. He did say 2 shows in a row, and I'm like, wow. But as he said that, his mic echoed, so he kept repeating that to hear the echo. But people were looking at me like, dude, he's talking to you. And he just spotted me and started talking to me, which was really cool. And then during one of Kevin's solos, I think, for one of the newer songs, I was doing the rock on symbol, and apparently he was deadlocked in my eyes, and he did it right back at me and smiled. So I thought that was real cool. And then the picture experience. Love the fact that they don't have barricades this tour. We're in the back. They let us actually meet and greet them a little bit, get a picture. Of course, you know, with Silver, it's a group picture. I was in a picture with all girls, and I think I made an ugly face in my picture, but I just feel like I made an ugly face. I don't think I smiled, but I got some interaction from the guys again, and I'll go over that real quick. Brian, dude, I gave Brian a handshake and a half hug, and you know, he was like, dude, 2 shows, like he said that again. And I asked if Wiley Trailer was there, and he said no, but my wife's here. And I'm like, well, I can't find her, she's elusive. And he laughed, and he asked for my name, and he says, well, it's good to see you again, Andrew. And I thought that was really cool. And then next in line was Kevin, and I said, man, I've missed you. You don't have no idea how much I missed you. I shook his hand, gave him a half hug, like a bro hug, and he appreciated that, which was really cool. And then I got Howie, just a normal handshake, and the gesture, like we know each other. And then got to AJ, and AJ high-fived me, and he just yells, Beard Brothers, because he's been calling us Beard Brothers the last 2 days. And then I just shook Nick's hand real quick. And I was the only one waiting to get the picture taken, because I still hadn't set my place yet. And I wanted to stand by Kevin, and I got to stand by Kevin. Kevin grabbed my shoulder and was like, let's do this. And it was just really cool. Really cool. And I talked to him a little right before we left, and it was just real cool. Just that Kevin experience alone was awesome, and that Brian experience, and just that random AJ experience from Chicago that traveled into St. Louis was just awesome. I appreciate that. It's just the little things, you know. I know they're normal guys, but it's still little things. And like I said, I met some nice people. I met a girl that's, it's her first Backstreet show. I met a girl who was her first Backstreet show, and she's been a fan since like '96, and she drove from Nebraska, and she had gold VIP. I met a few cool people. I really did. When you see the picture of my silver, the girl with the red lipstick is the girl that I hung out with most of the day there. Now my seating was good. I ended up being 12th row, lower section, so that's pretty decent. But I was on the right side again. Right side 2 nights in a row. Now, I can deal with angles if I'm sort of towards the back of the end of the row, because it's sort of center at that point. But these rows were like 70 chairs long, and I was like at number 40, so I was in the middle. And my view wasn't obstructed. I mean, there were like the sound thing and the way, and just hanging in the light there, but nothing was really obstructed. But I mean, I would have liked to have been more center, because even if I was in that same row center, I think I would have had a better experience overall. It is what it is, and my whole row was empty aside from a few people, and I don't have the gall to move, because I'm not the type of fan that will shark on somebody's seat, because I don't know if they're coming in late or not. But yeah, my whole row ended up still being empty, and girls that was in the back row, 1 row behind, just jumped over and stood in their spot, and I didn't care that they stood in their spot in that row. I moved over a couple of seats to get a better view, but I couldn't move. I didn't want to move over anymore. I don't want to rock the boat. I probably could have moved over and had an awesome view, but like I said, I didn't know if people were coming in or not. I'm not the type of person to do that. ended up being eventually filled with drunk women who think they're entitled to being as close as possible. But aside from that, I can't really complain about the seating. I did have a friend, Matt, who the guy I said bought my VIP in Chicago a couple years ago. He legitimately was second row in that same section, and with the way the stage was set up, all the equipment was on that side, and he legitimately, sitting down or standing up, could not see anything. And he went to complain to like an event staff, and they actually bumped him up to fan pit for free of charge, which was really cool. He told me more than likely I wouldn't be able to do it because I have a decent view. So it is what it is. I'm kind of jealous, and I'm not mad at him. I'm kind of jealous of that. It's a really cool experience that he got there. And his people that were there with him in that section got like front row in the center section. Legitimately, he could not see at all. Like I could see fine. He legitimately could not. Him and his people could not see at all. So I understand that, but it doesn't make me less jealous. Concert itself, though, concert was amazing. Oh man, they haven't been to St. Louis by themselves in forever. They were with NKT BSB, but it wasn't the same. Great concert. I loved it. Especially the stuff I missed in Chicago. When they started with More Than That, I didn't even think they sung More Than That until they started singing it. But I thought the concert was awesome. I think Kevin gave me the rock on signal again. I don't know if he was really doing it to me or not, but I think he did, which I thought was cool. He noticed me just even 12 rows back, because that's pretty deep. Would have liked to have been Pitt, but Pitt was announced like a week before the tour started with $220 a pop.